Okay, so the new content for today then is mixtures. So what you need to understand about mixtures is that mixtures can sometimes look uniform, but they're not uniform when we talk about the chemical makeup. And so today you're going to be looking at some pictures, and you have to be able to tell if it's a mixture or if it's an element or a compound. And if it's a mixture, you have to tell me what it's a mixture of. So I'm going to give you some examples. Okay, so mixtures are elements or compounds that are mixed together but not bonded. Okay, so when we're looking at the images, we're just looking, are the images touching each other? Are there some that are touching and bonded? Are there some that aren't? So here I have an element, a single atom that's orange, and here I have a group of orange atoms, right? And then here I have a group of green atoms, but those are not bonded together. They're not touching and bonded together like these two purple atoms here, or this pink and green combo here that kind of looks like a water molecule, right? So this is a mixture of two different kinds of atoms. This is a mixture of a molecule of an element and an element that's single atom. So I've got purple molecules and then green atoms mixed together. But notice that the green atoms are never bonded or touching the purple molecules. And then here I have a mixture of purple molecules and pink molecules, right? I've got purple bonded to purple, 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 but the purples are never bonded to the pinks. I've got pink molecules, so I've got elements mixed with other elements. So all three of these pictures are elements mixed with other elements. This one is a picture of a compound mixed with an element. So I've got a compound, my green and pink compound, right? My big green atom and my two bonded to my two little pink atoms. And then I have this other molecule of an element of two pink atoms of the same type that are bonded together. So this is also a mixture. All of these are mixtures. So it is a mixture of different kinds of molecules or atoms mixed with other molecules, but they're not all bonded together, okay? That means that the makeup is not uniform and a mixture is not a pure substance. So here you have an example of salad dressing. It's easy to tell all the different parts of that mixture together. We'll learn a little bit later this week that mixtures sometimes are easy to tell apart, like salad dressing, and sometimes not so easy to tell apart. But all you're really looking for is this difference in the bonds, okay? So again, like I said, sometimes you have really nice evenly mixed mixtures like this one. Sometimes you have not evenly mixed mixtures, but all you're looking for is that not the fact that these are different things that are not bonded together, okay? The different types of mixtures are called heterogeneous and homogeneous mixtures. And so heterogeneous mixtures you can tell easily apart. Homogeneous mixtures you can't. They look pretty uniform when you're looking at them at first. But again, we'll practice that later. Really, you're just looking at, is there a bond or isn't? So I'm going to go back to this particular example because this is kind of like what your worksheet's going to look like. You should be able to tell me that this is not a mixture. It's just a group of single atoms or elements. You should be able to tell me that this one is elements only as well. Because it's the same kind of atom bonded together with the same type of atom. There's only one kind of atom in this container. There's only one kind of atom in this container. There's more than one kind of atom in this container, and so you have to look kind of carefully, but you'll see that each one of these molecules is the same exact kind of molecule, right? So we have one blue bonded to two little oranges, one big blue bonded to two little oranges, one big blue bonded to two little oranges. So you have to kind of look really closely at each molecule and make sure that they're all the same kind of molecule. If that is the case, then this is a compound, right? So each molecule is the same, but in each molecule the atoms aren't the same, so they're compounds. So this would be an example of a compound. And then this one is the mixture, right? So we have a compound here. They're not all compounds, right? You have an atom, 2 atoms here, and 2 molecules of elements here. So it's a bunch of things. They're not all bonded together in one big molecule or one big compound. It's a bunch of random things in a container. So that will be considered a mixture. And that's what your worksheet is doing to practice on the front side. On the back side, you're going to be looking at information from this slide, right? From these practice slides. So you're going to be first looking at something like this and telling me, is it a mixture? Is it an element or a compound? If you want to know if it's an element or compound, you're just looking at your chemical symbols, right? If there's 2 different kinds of symbols, so in this particular case an H and an O, then it is a compound. If there's only one element, only one symbol present, then it's an element, not a compound. And then the second portion of the back of that worksheet is something very similar to this, where you're looking at the chemical formula and you're counting the number of elements and the number of atoms. I think that the worksheet might be flipped, where you're counting atoms first and elements second. I can't remember, so make sure that you look at that carefully. Actually, I'll know in just a minute. So here is an example. Here you can see 1 black, 2 white, 1 black, 2 white, 1 black, 2 white. So those are all the same compound. So the answer for this would be B. Here I have 1 white, 1 black, 1 white, 1 black, but none of them are bonded together. So this is a mixture of white atoms with a mixture of black atoms. Remember, single atoms are elements, so this would be C, a mixture of elements. Okay. This one here, I have a 2 black, 4 white compound, and I have like 4 of those. And then I also have 2 white atoms bonded together, so that looks like an element molecule. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those kinds of molecules. So that's going to be E, a mixture of elements and compounds, because this is a compound, 4 compounds, 4 element molecules. Those are in the same box, so they're a mixture of elements and compounds. And so you'll go through and finish that 1 through 15. And then on the back, again, this O2 is an element because you only have O. CH4 is a compound because you have C, carbon, and H, hydrogen. So this one, you're just looking at the chemical symbols and counting them. Okay, remember to be careful, like on this one, Cl, that's a lowercase l, so it goes with the uppercase C. So the answer for 6 is a compound, but it's just 2 different kinds of elements. And so down here, it's a little bit more complicated. You want to look at your periodic table in your journal from the previous unit, and that way you can tell what the names are. It's also in your textbook if you need that. So you'll tell me the names of the chemical symbols present in the formula. You'll tell me how many total atoms, how many different elements, what are the elements, and then you'll tell me how many atoms of each element are present. So this one is definitely the hardest one, but you have until tomorrow to get that done. All right, get your work done. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.